All right, ready? 3, 2. All right, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me here. Development camp, player development coach, Nick Schultz. Nick, thanks so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. Good, at least, good seeing you, and excited for you to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So just a couple things before we start. First of all, congrats on the promotion for you.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. How have you kind of, adjusted to that, and what have been some of the things that you've kind of learned as in these last couple of years? Because I last talked to you, I just graduated high school. I was like 2 days away from graduating high school. So it's been a bit, but just, how have you been, and what are some of the things that you've kind of learned in these past couple of years?
Yeah, it's been good. A few years in development now. So now with helping out with Riley now, a little more of a director role, or a little more of a responsibility. So it's been good. It's been fun. So we're just kind of settling in here, get through the camp here with the last 8 days. So it's been a good camp. Just kind of continue to work and help these guys progress and get to the NHL level.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, there's been a lot in these past couple of months with the Flyers. A lot of things have changed. For you and Riley yourself, what's kind of been some of the things that you guys have been focused on for this camp? And for I guess for you, obviously working with the D, what are some of the things that you've kind of noticed from those guys as well?
Yeah, on the D side, we got a great group. I think all around the organization, we got a lot of, really quality high-end prospects. We've got a chance to go out and do some split groups, some forward and D groups, so we can focus on some different fundamental things with each group. So in working with the D, working on a few things, how we need to play without the puck to get the puck back, and then when we have the puck, how do we hang on to it and make plays, in our own end, breaking pucks out in the neutral zone and transition, playing on the offense in the O zone, and kind of going through different scenarios, different drills in regards to that, and then we go and kind of apply it in practice. So we're kind of was our approach this year, and now we get into a game today to kind of see what these guys can do and kind of get into. They all want to play. They're competitive guys. So anytime you do small area games or anything, they want to win. They want to play hard and show what they have. So we try to work on different skills throughout the week, and now we'll kind of see where they're at in the game setting tonight.
Yeah, just kind of going off that for tonight. What are some of the things that you kind of look at in a game setting, right? Because obviously, there's so many different things in practice, and sometimes you're shooting on an open net and all this different stuff. And for at least the game setting, I know obviously yesterday there was the injury for Dinoye, and that's one thing you don't want to happen too is guys get hurt. But what are some of the things that at least you're looking for tonight for the scrimmage?
Yeah, I think in a practice it's pretty structured. So the guys kind of know the drill, they know the routes, they know where they're going. So in this, obviously, hockey is a free flowing sport where kind of every play is different, right? So they got to go and be able to, read and react and respond on the ice. We just kind of watch them and see how they play, and if the different things we're talking about in the practices, if they apply it in a game. Some of these guys, depending where they're coming from, they're new draft picks. It can be a product of their coaching, where they're coming from, and different things we need to work on with them. So you just kind of watch them, see where they're at. A few of these guys we got a lot of time with, and other ones that are some of the older guys like Yinning and Andre that came over last year that are playing at the pro level already. So we got a little bit of a mixed bag with age-wise, some of the new draft picks and some of the guys here on tryouts and stuff. So it should be fun to just kind of see them out competing and having some fun.
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of going off that, you guys have had bunk with Andre for pretty much all of camp. Is that a deep pair we can expect for tonight?
I think so, yeah. A lot of it we just kind of mix and match the kids on the teams. There's no real rhyme or reason to that, but obviously both those guys are, a couple of our high-end prospects on D, so it's been fun to have those guys in meals. Played a little bit of pro hockey over in Europe, and now coming over last season. I think he's been good for Bonk to have him as a partner. So I think, tonight, depending what we have, if we have 5 or 6, they'll probably play with a little bit of a variety of partners. But those guys have looked good together for sure. Yeah,
and then just kind of going off that, you mentioned the other day to the media about Andre. For you, does he seem like a guy who could definitely make the NHL out of training camp?
Yeah, it has been a transition for him coming over last year. I think when Zamula got hurt, he ended up playing probably more minutes than he probably needed to, and got put in a bigger role. But he did well. He was good. He showed that he can play. So I think it's a little bit of progression coming over, playing on the, in the North American rink and playing over here and the amount of games we play. So definitely he's right there. I think he's somebody that might need a little more seasoning in Lehigh, but he's definitely right there, and he's pushing to play in the NHL for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like with him too, he's always able to kind of use his size. I mean, he's a smaller guy, but he hits like it's nothing. Just kind of going off that, you guys have worked with the D, and obviously yourself, you've been working with the D these past couple of years. Who are some of the other guys that maybe, the fans might not know that, might actually, that you personally think that might be able to at least make a step or maybe be a fan of this year or something like that?
Yeah, obviously with Ronnie that they just re-signed, he's got a legitimate chance in camp here to make an impression and push and hopefully get some preseason games and maybe some NHL games. Again, he's right there. Adam Yinning, based off of his season last year, how he played in Lehigh. They gave him a game at the end of the year. It was tough because the Flyers were kind of out of it. It was against Columbus or whatever, so it wasn't a great game for him. But he's a competitor and he's pushing to come up to the NHL. So we got some guys there that are right there and playing well. And Ethan Sampson from the Western Hockey League that I have signed that'll be pro next year. That's coming in. So we got a different variety of guys at different stages in their career, kind of different levels based on their age and where they've played and years and playing pro hockey. So we got a little mix there, which is nice. We got some different guys just stepping in and guys kind of pushing, knocking to move on from Lehigh up to the Flyers. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for Sampson, he's definitely had a good camp. Yesterday he had a couple of nice plays on Forrester. I think one guy for me that I've noticed as well is Hunter McDonald. He's used his size well. Just kind of talk about him a little bit. What are some of the things that you guys have kind of noticed about him? Yeah,
the organization's really excited about Hunter. He's obviously 6th round draft pick, so a late pick, but the way he's playing right now, he easily could have been a 1st round pick with his size and his range and his ability with the puck, but how hard he defends. And I think we saw this year with Vegas winning and all these teams, their D, they got some big, heavy guys that play hard, and that's Hunter's game. So the organization's really excited about it. I think it'll be another big year for him to go to college and play and continue to build his game. He had an excellent first year last year, so I think he's someone that's right there as well. So it's fun to see him here and get a chance to interact with them. Now they'll get off to their schools and stuff to continue to train and get ready for their college year. Yeah, for sure. And for a guy that Chuck obviously drafted, and he was the one who brought you in. I talked about that a couple years ago. He had mentioned on 32 Thoughts that Hunter's one of the guys that he looks at to be one of those maybe fly under the radar kind of guys that could end up working out. Obviously he was a 4th round pick a couple years ago. I mentioned Bonk a little bit. You obviously talked about him too. How's it been working with him? What are some of the things for him? Obviously 1st round pick this year. No Michkov for the Flyers, so Bonk is the 1st round pick. But what are some of the things for Bonk that at least you guys have liked and things that you could maybe work on? Yeah, obviously the scouts picking them, like those guys put in so much work watching these guys and having a couple 1st round picks. I think with Bonk they did a great job. Obviously people cover right-handed D, and he's a big kid. And you talk about Hunter a little bit, how competitive and hard he is. I think Oliver has it as well too. He's heavy and he plays hard, and his puck skills are very good too, right? So it seems like he's the total package that can play top pairing, right? Obviously you draft the kid at that spot in the draft. He's an elite player, so now it's just a matter of kind of continuing to watch him and his development, making sure he's doing the right things in junior. Next year he's in a good spot in London, and just working with their coaches there and making sure he's developing and getting ready for the pro game. Yeah, for sure. And it seems like for him he's a little raw right now. His skating does seem good though, like the way he's been able to gap control, stuff like that, been able to use his size, all that stuff. Just kind of going off that, it's probably a little more personal question. Is there a favorite drill that you have for doing all these these camps and stuff like that? Is there anything that you like doing the most? No, there's I think different things that you have to work on with the D. There's obviously different parts of the game. I think the big thing right now is how we defend to get the puck back. And some of these kids, everyone has skill coaches and working on all the different stuff when you have the puck. But the majority of the game you don't have the puck. So we got to work with these guys defending the right way. I think in general as a team got to get better at that. So we work with these young guys and stick positioning, how they defend in their own end on rushes, kill plays, and then when they get the puck, we got to move, we got to get up ice and make plays. So there's different variation of drills and things that we do, but it's all kind of, you know, for a purpose, and make sure that it applies to their game and helps them move along in their development.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, especially because like there's so many little things that happen. You know, the Flyers have had a lot of invites these past couple of years too. Just kind of switching gears there, is there, you know, like for you at least, you know, prepping with the D, like how much prep really goes into for you, like for your side of it? Like, is it just kind of waiting to see where the guys kind of, you know, come in, or is there like any sort of prep that you kind of do to kind of get ready for all this too?
No, we've been basically for a month leading up to kind of going over what we wanted to look like, what we wanted to accomplish out of the practices, and how we would work with kind of each group from the forward side to the D side, and kind of work on those skills and those fundamentals in the split session, and then kind of apply it in the practices and see how the guys respond, and if they're listening, if they're learning, if they're working at it right in practice, that's the time to work at those skills and really hone them. And then, like I said, now we get into a game situation, kind of see how these guys react and respond to some of the stuff we've been teaching, or if they just kind of go back to their old habits, if there's certain things they need to work on. So you just kind of watch and see if they can apply it in a game situation. You continue to work and talk with them, if it's through video, and just, you know, different things like that to continue to work on their game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and you know, there's so many little variables that you've mentioned the game situation a lot. You obviously played in the NHL over 1,000 games, blocked a lot of shots. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things, at least for you, like when you see some of these guys, that is there anything that like maybe reminds you of you when you were younger, or anything like that?
It's fun to watch these guys. I think it's nice that teams have, you know, with these development camps, development staffs, it's definitely come a long way where they have all these resources for these kids, which I definitely didn't have this. Like when we were picked, Minnesota did a good job. They had some of us in the summer to train and be around Mini a little bit. But here with the staff that's here, and the resources these guys have from the training staff, the medical staff, strength and conditioning, nutritionists, they have a lot of resources here that they can use. So it's kind of nice to have them come in and meet all these people and have all these resources. If it's guys that need to get bigger and stronger, guys that need to eat better, if it's sleep, if it's the mental side of the game, there's a bunch of different aspects that we're trying to give these guys all the tools so they don't have any excuses. So
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and like there's so many, you know, variables of it. Just kind of switching gears a little bit. It's probably the last one I got for you. Is there, you know, for you, obviously you played here. A lot of things have changed, you know, and, you know, people have been fired, like different things like that. Just curious what you think, you know, just your thoughts on the rebuild and kind of where the Flyers are at, and just kind of the positive, I guess, step towards that. Because it seems like there's been a lot of, it's been better, I guess, for fans. You know, they drafted Mitch Cobb and all these different things have kind of happened. Just, you know, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but, you know, just kind of where you kind of see the Flyers rebuild and things like that.
Yeah, the good part about Philly, and that's the hardest part here, is why it's been so hard to say rebuild, is because you have such a passionate fan base, right? Right. They want a winning team, so it's hard to kind of go down that path, or kind of, you know, tell your fans that, hey, this is what we need, kind of thing, right? So I think it's why it's hard to do that, but this is a market where they expect you to go out and compete and have winning teams, right? So but I think for an organization right now, and just the structure of the league now in the CBA, you really have to draft well, you really have to develop well. The old days of going out and buying a bunch of free agents and forming your team that way is kind of long gone. So I think you have to kind of pick your spots and your free agents that you sign, and kind of piece together with your team based on the age and the guys you have, the prospects that you have, and the guys that you can plug in. So I think there's a lot that goes on, and behind the scenes, these guys are working hard, from our scouting staff to the management side, and all these guys that put in a lot of work, and there's a lot of discussion, a lot of stuff that goes on to kind of get the team back on track. So I think it's needed, and we got to continue to work, and that's why our job right now is so fun, because we got some good young prospects who want to work, and some guys on our staff that have played at the NHL level and know how special it is to have that as a job, and we want to work with these kids and give them that opportunity and have them become, you know, great Flyers one day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Me and my buddy, we've been here all week, and it's been a blast. I'm sure you guys have had fun on the ice too. So, Nick, dude, thanks so much. Really, it was great, you know, talking to you. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Glad to help out.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thank you.